All right, ladies and gents, welcome to some more Nations Cup action. And this right here is the winners semifinals. So none of these teams have lost yet in Nations Cup. Went through the group stage, into the bracket stage, and they're looking strong. Now, this is Black Forest. We're behind by about 15 minutes because I'm doing this on community game day, right? So I've kind of combined it with a bunch of things. And so we're catching up to live time here. And there's a Vil Rush on this side from Lucky Rocks for Argentina, a player I'll talk about, up against Rubenstock. And this is just Black Forest things. You can see on the other side, too, not good that I'm going fast. I get it, but we've got to go through it. We've got Argentina with FedEx, and he is Vil rushing and being aggressive against Valis. So basically, Argentina coming at it here to start off this Black Forest game. And should get pretty wild. Oh my god, we even got Lucky Rocks in here with Vils. So Finland is number one seed. Actually, no, they weren't the number one seed in this tourney, but they are the number one team in this tourney. The seeding was based on ladders, so that's a little bit different. Argentina was, to my knowledge, the number 5 seed. So again, it does kind of depend on how you feel like the seeding is. But I think Finland is the number 1 favorite for this event, and they win here, they move into the winners bracket final against Canada. So that should be pretty awesome. We have a full best of 5 here, so we won't be speeding up forever. And I didn't want to go super fast speed because I wanted to actually be able to really follow what was happening here. But it does seem like still FedEx has 2 Vils through. But that's being tracked by Finland quite nicely. Velez is here. I guess you then have Gary for Argentina. And then here you've got the villagers from Lucky Rocks, and they just wanted to disrupt the flanks. Rubenstock's Mr. Chaos himself, so he loves chaotic starts, and Rubenstock, for whatever reason, that villager didn't build there, but he's just trying to prevent these villagers from going home for red, and trying to save that villager. Beautiful blocking there from Nikov, helping his team. He's going to have a good performance here for Argentina to win. And well played, villager down there. Quick walls from FedEx. Dude, this is Black Forest meta these days, is sneaking Vils. Okay, so, now that we have, maybe a brief moment to talk about things. I mean, we're still going to be villagers running all around. And Argentina's done a really good job with this, in my opinion. We should just talk about the civs briefly, okay? So we've got Lucky Rocks, Aztec flank, Nikov, Mongol pocket. He wants time, he wants space, he wants to boom till late game. It's a great Black Forest civ. The purple, we've got Gary playing as the Teutons. Same deal. He wants time and he wants to boom. And then the flank over here, and we'll just look back at the Vils, is FedEx Berbers. And he has faster villagers. And oh my god, he's broken through. And he didn't actually get the walls down, which is actually horrible for his strat because he wanted to kill all these Vils. But he's on Valis, and Valis, this is not the type of thing he really wanted to deal with. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, if the wall was taken out or if a wall piece was missing. But faster Berber villagers really paying off here, just trying to keep the Hindustani player in a spot where they're struggling and maybe need support from their team. For Finland, we've got Valis Hindustani flank. Look at FedEx block. That's so good. That's going to be a dead Vil because of the Vil speed. This is a reason they nerfed that in the most recent patch. We're playing on the past patch. The pocket then is Velez, who's playing Celts, who is going to be in a boom position. Again, another villager down. Look at this from Argentina. This is beautiful play, and FedEx, a big part of that because he decided to flip the script a little bit, run it with more Vils, which is kind of a risky play. Here you've got Max, who's Goths, and he's on the way to Castle Age right now, and he wants to boom. And then the flank over here is Rubenstock, who's going to be aggressive, right? So not having forward walls is actually really bad for Lucky Rocks. Look at Rubenstock. He tracked this Vil. So Lucky Rocks was thinking, I have a Vil through. I can maybe go archers. This is simply just going to be walled off. Oh, and the villager dies to a snow leopard. The other villager's over here. So it looks like Finland has tracked those sneak Vils, and then God knows what's happening over here. But yeah, we're going to have Rubenstock either go fast castle, forward castle drop into wagons, or he's just going to go guard towers. I think Lucky Rocks, as good as he has done, I think he's going to be in a really tough position now. The forward barracks is useless. This villager here was walled in by Rubenstock. And I think the worry for Argentina is going to be if Rubenstock has an edge over Lucky Rocks, he can run right over to Nikov, which is not what you want. Let's see if I'm right on that, though, because he's in Castle Age now. And I guess Rubenstock, yep, there he goes. And that is Argentina acknowledging there's a castle there, and that is really bad for them. Now, Castle Age is coming in for FedEx, but Veleza is not just straight booming. He's on 3 TCs already because he's a god, but he's going Monk Siege. And we had Siege actually from Gary here. And Gary, that's going to end up being quite nice for them here. Celts don't actually get redemption, so it's not possible for Veleza to convert this, but Celts do have faster firing mangonels. So we have both pockets on the left side contributing here. We're still catching up to live time, by the way. But this is just not a spot you ever want to be in if you're Lucky Rocks. You're losing your main golds. Losing the secondary gold once the guard tower comes up. How do you stop this push from getting out of hand here? And we have Valis walling up because they're a little concerned that maybe this could lead to Valis having problems. Valis is now in castle, and we'll see. Okay, close to live time now, guys. Close to live time, I promise you. So, I want to just briefly, and I would have done this in Dark Age if I had the time. Maybe I wouldn't have had the time in normal speed. But I just want to talk about these Argentina players. So, Nikov's insane. Nikov's a top 10 talent. I think everyone knows him. But when you think Argentinian players, you might think Capoch next. And Capoch was on Argentina B. So, you had this Argentina A team, players that Nikov knows really well. And, you know, FedEx specializes with, like, good economy and, like, closed maps. He's actually a professional chess player as well, which I've talked about before. So, FedEx, I think, could suit them quite well in more of a boom role. Gary's played team games for, like, a decade. Gary, he doesn't play 1v1s anymore, but he used to be in that top, like, 150 maybe, many, many years ago, back before DE. And then Lucky Rocks is really young. I don't know his exact age, but I think maybe like 18 or 20. And having played Lucky Rocks a lot in Arabia, just like a really fast, really aggressive style player. But anyways, you know, for Finland, I don't think they need as much introduction. Like Rubenstock is their weakest player, and Rubenstock is insanely strong in team games. And if he needs to, he'll drop a TC on you as well. So... yeah, he's got a nice forward position here. And just as we expected, you know, Nikov has to respect that this pressure is coming in here. So he places his first castle here, and he's building up towards pushing Rubenstock back. The problem is, guys, we have the Max, and Max doesn't play 1v1s too much these days. But he was once in that top 10. Remember, if you watched Hidden Cup 2 finals, he was up 3-1 against Viper. Almost beat Viper. No one knew who he was. Well, a lot of people were guessing incorrectly. And Viper, unfortunately for Max, ended up coming back and winning that 4-3 in one of the craziest reverse sweeps, if you could call that a reverse sweep, we've seen. But anyways, Max has got incredible economy, incredible synergy with his team, and he's Goths, and he's getting Anarchy. So the Mongol player would want to go Mangadai or Siege. All of that gets dealt with by Huskarls. And I feel like Argentina's just going to die to Max here, but I would love to be proven wrong. It looks like we're going to have some Paladins from Gary coming this way. So we will have both the pocket players for Argentina in this position. But yeah, the Goth spam is going to be insane. We do also have Veleza on the way to the Imperial Age. And it looks like he will be coming over here with Valis. Valis and FedEx have boomed similarly here. But if you look on this side, you can see that Lucky Rocks... well, I mean, I guess, you know, the good news for him is he is imping. But, you know, he is way behind Rubenstock in economy. So Rubenstock's got 83 villagers versus the 48 from Lucky Rocks. Are we at live time now? I think we are officially at live time. Okay, so that's good. Siege Onager on the way right now for Nikov. I really like the decision from Nikov to go Siege instead of the Mangadai. This is a very good call. And if this goes late, I think I prefer the civilizations for Argentina. That's why it's so important right now for this push to continue a bit. for Finland. And actually, it's getting pushed back. You see one of the Trebs go down there for Max. Paladin's on the way for Gary. The Monks for the Aztecs have 12 range and can convert a lot of units. And Max, thinking he could maybe steamroll this on his own, is now looking at this thinking like, I'm verse 3. I remember a quote from my buddy Ganji in a chat the other day. Ganji, a good Black Forest player. Also played for... Did he play for Sweden, actually, in Nations Cup? Well, Sweden could have used him. I think he probably did. I didn't pay attention to Sweden too much, but... Anyways, he's a good team game player. He's also a platinum player in Titans League, for example. He said, best unit in the game, Mongol, Drill, Onager. And look at this from Nikov. Attack rounds there. This castle will go down for Rubenstock. And I'm not sure what Rubenstock is going to do to contribute here in this game. He's got 4 wagons, but they're leftover wagons, and Argentina pushing here. Now, Celt Siege fires faster and has more HP, and we're going to see that on this side. And so now, Gary's probably being told by FedEx, hey, buddy, I might be good at chess, but I can't figure this one out. I'm close to checkmate. Like, come on, help me out. And you can only wall so much, because once the trees are chopped by the onagers, they're going to be through. So Max and Rubenstock, they need to hold. We are now in a situation where this could be a base trade. Both sides need to hold. I actually think Veleza should be sending villagers to build siege workshops on this side for siege. This side is going to disappear so quickly, but so is this one. Oh, geez. By the way, sorry for the big trees. I will turn on small trees after this. I feel like it's pretty nice for Black Forest, though. We just have more and more walls. Yeah, they do not have a counter to help siege over here. So Rubenstock trying to wall it out. We do have Siege Onager soon in for Veleza. But I tell you what, man, like the towers from Rubenstock are going to go down very quickly. Oh, Max is adding bomber cannons, which I like, and he's going to need a few big shots. Over here, FedEx is kind of delayed things, though. He is going to lose his university and lose his town centers and lose probably all his population if this continues. This is still really tricky. Look at him adding all these walls just to escape somewhere. You can see all these red monks trying to get conversions. And bombard cannons have the same range as those monks. Unless he got siege engineers, which he didn't. So it's a close first game here, guys. Again, need to remind you guys that the... as he's killing his own halbs over here, Veleza. This is the winner's bracket, so the loser of this series is still alive in this tourney. But obviously, continuing to win is fantastic for you. There's the bombard cannon shots from Max. That was huge. Also has the halbs waiting here. More and more towers going up for Rubenstock. I noticed that Nikov is going for Mangadai. He doesn't have bloodlines yet, which is actually really bad. So he's going to need to get that. But again, he's focusing on this right now. So it's hard to get every single upgrade. Bombard cannons getting converted. There's just so many monks. Max loses one, backs away with the rest. And oh, wait a second. There's suddenly... Nikov wasn't focusing with the siege. He's going to focus on the siege now, though. And bam, bye infantry. See ya. Also by Mangadai. Nikov microing the siege on one side, losing his Mangadai on the other. Disaster for Argentina. Another attack round from Veleza. And the difference right now is just the fact that the pockets play on one side, right? Gary and Nikov need to try and split sides. Veleza and Max, they just worry about one area. And it's so much easier to play if that's the case. Also, Rubenstock is contributing. Rubenstock is going for siege onagers. It's not like he's just, walling like FedEx is currently. And we've Imp Camel from Valis. And I mean, I think Argentina might actually be close to having to call it here. FedEx won't have army for a long time. He's going to lose his eco. Gary's going to lose his eco. They do have paladins in on Max, I just noticed. Not really sure how that happened. They must have run on by. But still, it looks like this area is actually being held for Finland, who do have trade, but they don't have a lot of trade. Nikov's adding a lot of trade right now, but he's not going to have a trade route pretty soon. I think the onagers should probably just take out this gate here. I mean, you got the sea drams as well. 4v4 Black Forest may be my least favorite map of all. All the games look the same. Well, it's your opinion. Some people love it more than anything, right? I said this about Black Forest before, and I'll say it again. At this point, you know, I've played so much. Like, I probably played 1,000 plus Black Forest games. Just haven't played them all recently. There can be amazing games and amazing moments. It doesn't happen as commonly as on other maps, right? Right? So if you're looking, like, if you had to play 50 games a year and you wanted the most entertainment, or I wanted the most entertainment if I was playing 50 games a year, I wouldn't play Black Forest because there's a higher percentage of games which I don't find entertaining. But there can be some pretty epic moments, and you get to see a lot of different units too, and the strategy is really intense. So, it's not everyone's cup of tea. Obviously, this isn't a Black Forest tourney, so we'll see different maps after this. And I think it's really important that the push continues here for Argentina because they are continuing to lose grounds, but it might be too late. Veleza just free boomed it. It wasn't a free boom, I guess, or a straight boom because he did support his flank a little bit. What a recovery from Valis here. Like, Valis had so many nightmares against FedEx. And Finland's, they didn't wither to the sneaks, right? There were sneak villagers on both sides. There were villager attacks on both sides. And they just so easily dealt with that. And then relied on their best two players, Veleza and the Max. Actually, if I were to rank the players for Finland, I would rank it with the way the score ended. I'd say Veleza, then Max, then Valis, then Rubenstock. In 1v1s, you could say Valis is better than Max these days, though. And that's the beauty of Finland, man. It's like, it used to be they had Veleza and Max, and then Valis was kind of like new. Rubenstock was kind of weak. They're all really, really strong these days. So, anyway, scores 1-0. We will now cast the next game from the start. Again, sorry we had to speed through, but we're just trying to juggle around and do different things today. Nikov actually collected more resources in that game, but he just couldn't make enough ground, and then he had to spend so many resources on the upgrades themselves, and it was really hard for him to split sides there. I'm going to tell you what the mistake was, in my opinion. I think the wall position for Lucky Rocks was a mistake. I don't know when he walled it. Again, I played in Rage Forest. I've watched some Rage Forest. I have an idea. Okay, so he had Vills through here. I think a wall here is more important than sneaking the Vills, if you could do it. Because what happens is, later on in this game, if this is the wall position, this does nothing for you. You don't want to fight for sneaking a Vill here. You want to fight for a forward wall, because if the Koreans end up towering here, then you can stonewall here, and you don't lose all this ground. I think him losing that much ground is... No one can play better than maybe he played from that position, but still you're going to be at a disadvantage. And it puts some stress on Nikov to have to help you immediately. So, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it's always really complicated, and I could see how maybe he felt like if he could do some damage to Max, that maybe then Nikov could dominate later. All right, so I promised at the conclusion of Game 2 we wouldn't speed up too much in this one. Trust me when I say we are very close to live time. And this is game number 2 in Argentina versus Finland in the winner's semifinal of Nations Cup. The winner here will be in good position, moves on to the winner's final. A winner of the winner's final, by the way, moves on to the grand final, the whole thing, starting with 1 win in that best of 7, because they'll be up against someone who had lost. But the loser here in this series will still be alive. And I can show that bracket later if any of that didn't make sense for you. There's been a new trend in Nations Cup, and there's been a new trend on migration, and that is the flanks. They go for these crazy uptimes to just try and kill everyone else's fishing ships. So real quick, we've got FedEx flank. He's on the way to Feudal already with Lithuanians. You have Gary Malay, and he's going to be docking, adding fish and whatnot. Other pocket then is Lucky Rocks Burgundians. His goal, similar to Gary, but more so probably with the Burgundians, is to take land control. And then Nikov on this side has gone for the Incas. And Nikov, he's going to be going water most likely for his team. Nikov will be up against Vleza, who'll be going water with the galleys of Vikings. His pocket then is Valis, who is playing as the Japanese, and I'm sure he'll have fish everywhere. Other pocket then is the Max, who's playing Huns. And then, last but not least, we've got Rubenstock playing Italians. But the normal build is you add the dock in Dark Age, you add a couple fishing ships, and then you click up to the next stage. The build we are seeing from FedEx is a build that you pretty much can only do with Lithuanians when they have 150 food at the start. You are so at the limit with your resources, it's ridiculous. Like, he's got 2 on food, which is these 2 villagers, okay? Won't even invest into a mining camp, right? Because that's too expensive. But it's designed so you can produce 2 galleys right away, and these galleys typically will want to pass Rubenstock, and they will want to go find the Max's fish. That's the strat. On the other side, it's going to be more of a standard water battle, which could build up more towards long-term water control. But since the pocket players add so many fishing ships on this map, that's why this strategy has kind of been created. And long-term water control on this map isn't that important because there's so much land in the center. Your navy won't be able to range all of it. So the good news here is that FedEx is doing this, and the pocket he's going to want to head towards would be the Hun player, not the Japanese player, because Japanese fishing ships are really strong. So I really like this strategy. I've seen it a couple times. It doesn't win all the time, but I think it could work out really well. Like this from Rubenstock, that's intentional. He's hoping galleys might stop to hit him. He is making galleys now, but FedEx should just pass him. You don't go for Rubenstock's fish. I mean, you can. I guess you're going to kill them pretty quickly. Sure, go ahead, do it. You have to get to the Max here. That's the strat. He's not wasting that much time here. Let's see. There he goes, and now he needs to keep moving. So you notice Max is still making fishing ships. Max hasn't even clicked up to the next stage yet. And now Rubenstock has to help here. Now, what I saw when Germany played this against Brazil is this player, you need to just continue to bypass, right? You're always faster to the galleys. You don't stop at all. Just keep running through. And I've talked to people about this. They're like, the strategy shouldn't work because it's up to the other flank to kill on water. I don't see how you could realistically stop FedEx from killing all the fishing ships if he finds them, because he just needs to keep passing. The stopping's not good. Just keep passing and killing fish. I think he really struggled with the micro there. Like, that should be another kill. And we'll see. Now, here we've got the standard galley plays, and then we will see lots of fishing ships and transports eventually from the pockets. But yeah, Philip for Germany just kept passing. They just passing. Just kill the fish, man. Just kill the fish. Max is going to want to transport here as well. Good micro there from FedEx, recovering. And again, Rubenstock's going to come back. This is so good. Dude, I'm telling you, this strategy's good. I know it hasn't worked all the time, but I think it could be for other reasons. Keep sniping those fishing ships, because the idea is Lucky Rocks doesn't have the problem that Max has right now. And neither does Gary. And I think Gary will also potentially come onto water later with Malay. We'll see. See how difficult it is if you just keep passing? Yeah, this is insane. You're chasing these galleys, as you probably should if you're Rubenstock, and now Max is like, yo, there's more. FedEx needs to kill here for Argentina. There you go. So Max is going to be in a tougher spot. The funny thing is, though, Max continues to add fishing ships, and I kind of like that. He's also going to add some fire galleys, but his fishing ship count isn't that bad. He has also spread out docks in different regions to make it difficult for FedEx to find him. Now, normally what happens is, because Rubenstock hasn't been losing many ships, the player in Rubenstock's position will start to win on water. But you're going to see Gary be in Castle Age in a moment, and he's just going to add fire galleys to push back against that. So I think, all things considered, let's look at the Eco KD real quick. He killed 8 fishing ships. He killed 6 from Max. It wasn't crazy, But that was really solid amount, in my opinion. And I think Lucky Rocks is a player who needs to have a really good game for the Burgundians. He's got scouts coming out. He'll be in Castle Age. And Rubenstock's not going to be able to kill the fish from Gary. I mean, he shouldn't. Gary's going to be in Castle Age so quickly. But that's what Rubenstock needs to try and do now. He's like, oh, you want to do it to my pocket? Max is very happy about that. Max told me he's upset. I'm going to go make Gary upset. See how you feel. We'll see. Still 2 galleys here. Oh, so good. Still 2 galleys killing fish. That's going to be 2 more down the drain. Now, over here, we could have watched the galley micro. We didn't because the other things were more important. But fact of the matter is, it's happening. So kudos to those 2 players. Here are the fire ships. Again, these will be upgraded in a moment. Fire galley for Gary. He also is transported probably to drop a TC. Still 2 galleys here. These 2 galleys. Bam. Another fishing ship down. Beautiful play. Max down to 7 fishing ships. So far, I prefer the start for Argentina. I think this has worked out really well. And is all pre-planned because you know that FedEx, after he kills those fishing ships, will need help. And the help is already here. But the lack of war galley is really crazy to me. Okay, now it's coming in. Okay, here's the TC for Lucky Rocks. Lucky Rocks with scouts here, hoping to deny TCs from Max. Max only has 2 spearmen. Those are light cav now. Max could lose all these villagers. He does get the walls down. He'll lose... Oh, no, he doesn't get the walls down. Disaster for Finland. Disaster for Finland. Oh, but he saves... Oh, God, his knight! Oh, no! Oh, this is so good. Right? Not only have they killed his fish, but now they've denied the TC. And again, Yellow's had more fishing ships and is adding tons of TCs. Rubenstock can't make any progress here. I'm really curious to see how the team that I think is the best in Nations Cup comes back from this one, because this is really snowballed out of control for them. It's not out of control. I shouldn't say that, excuse me. But everything that I think Finland wanted to accomplish on that left side has happened so far. On the right side, though, you've still got Valles to deal with, and or Veleza, excuse me. Veleza and Valles, of course, they're together. And we're actually seeing fire ship upgrade for Valles. And that... Oh, wow, this game gets interesting then. Nikov is also behind Veleza, just slightly to the Castle Age. So Nikov's going to be 2v1 on water. And while Max lost his fishing ships early, we could see Lucky Rocks lose all his fishing ships. And Nikov... He doesn't even have a TC. He might not even have the res for a TC because he's going to be under so much pressure. Nikov actually sold his stone, guys, and is trying to recoup this stone, but he doesn't have 100 stone yet. So these villagers won't be able to build a TC for a while. Over here, Rubenstock. He's 2 minutes away from Castle Age, getting pushed by what little FedEx has left. And also Gary's fires. Here comes the big wave from Finland. The population's really close here. There's just more army for Finland. But majority of that's Navy, right? We had monks from Valles here. Valles is having an amazing game. 18 fishing ships. He's got 2 TCs in the middle. He forced the delete from a knight there of Lucky Rocks. And also trying to snag relics already. Again, Navy's still advancing. This could be bad for Max. And we might need to see some support from Valles here. We'll see if Valles adds more. Valles is still just adding fish. Nikov with some patience here. He backed all the way up to here, guys. And that was really good from him not to lose his mass. But this is huge. The fact that Lucky Rocks is now losing these fishing ships is such an amazing find for Finland. And Rubenstock still holding on. Still microing very well considering. Again, a knight getting a kill there in the middle. Max in recovery mode, but it is Valles. This is the thing about Finland, dude. If Max and Veleza aren't carrying, they could have the other players carry as well. I think China's similar to them, and Canada's similar to them in that. And again, the winner here will face Canada, which I'm excited about. And, I mean, Finland is my favorite to win this series, as they have now evened up the score, and they have actually... They've done an amazing job. An incredible job. Now you have Gary for Argentina. Top score, 77 eco. He's tied with Valles' position. We'll see what he does. Good micro from Nikov there to hold. But there's a whole lot more pressure coming this way. So I think what you would want eventually from Valis is you probably want him on Halb in the middle, because the Burgundian player has gone for a lot of Cav, and there's not a whole lot else. And then for Argentina, I think you would want the Malay player on Archer. And I actually think because the top players for each team right now play out like that, and Valis would open with infantry. If Gary can get the timings right with archers, I think it could be really strong for them. But, I mean, Nikov he's struggling. He can't get by to kill any fishing ships. He's slowly losing his docks. He won't be able to contribute much more in this game. Even this, here he's completely outnumbered. And FedEx is in Castle Age, and he's going to be a non-factor for a while, but he's starting to boom. Rubenstock is a factor, and Rubenstock will be able to transport and get TCs up eventually, but he doesn't have them yet, which is important to note. Lucky Rocks lost every single fishing ship, but he does have 68 villagers. It's 61 total eco for Max. So it kind of evened out, right, how this game flowed. Gary may be flirting with the idea of Imperial Age soon because he's Malay, but it's going to be hard for him to focus on water and also focus on land at the same time. So he's probably not able to focus archers at all. Here's Valis with a few pikes. And we got scouts from Max going in for the monks. That's very good teamwork there from Finland. Oh, that's nice. Does lose the scouts, but whatever. You've got pikemen. Oh, both players want a castle on this hill. That's crazy. Valis actually placed it in the exact same position. I don't know if Valis can complete... He can't deny the castle and also complete his own here. There's just no way. Oh, man, he didn't maybe see these knights, or maybe he did see them. Maybe he disagrees with me as well. Look at Max lure these light cav away. That castle's at 50%. They're still moving in confidently. Mangonel could get some hits on villagers, and he's going to abandon this position. Man, if that's me, guys, I'd never even try advancing up the hill. I just never have faith that I can actually stop it. And I don't want to throw the game, so I don't try. It's crazy that they still tried here. Okay, in the end, the castle will go up. Imp is on the way for Valis, so I think he's now just going to have to settle for a castle that's at the bottom of the hill. And never mind, he backs it up, but he'll want Trebs. Rubenstock's got a massive navy, man. But guys, Veleza is all over FedEx's eco. It's on the shoreline. Not a spot you want to be if you don't have water control. He's found the docks and the fish of Gary, all because they had dominated the other side. And Veleza also, he's got 3 TCs on the mainland soon. Finland does have the eco lead. And look at the army lead. Argentina's got nothing. They've got nothing on lands anymore. They've got pretty much nothing on water. After that great start from FedEx. Really interesting how this flowed. So I think this is how it breaks down for me. Okay, so FedEx, he did his job, okay? At FedEx Gary, I think they did a good job. The problem is that I don't think Argentina expected Valis, who's been beast mode all game, and Veleza to be able to combine on this side and then affect everybody, right? Like FedEx, he killed 2 fishing ships from Rubenstock, and then he sniped a bunch from Max. But the push from Valis and Veleza, it affected everyone. And it still will, too. And then, of course, you've got Rubenstock with the big mass now, too. It's so complicated, though, because Lucky Rocks couldn't or didn't help Nikov because he was going land. And he was doing a good job on land, too. It's just Finland is so good. And maybe, just maybe, the strategy of the fast up with the galleys is a little bit too all in, you know? Because this is another time I'm seeing the strategy where the team doesn't win. But I think it's also due to other factors. Here's Gary trying to go for the archers we spoke of. He is an imp now, so getting bracer, getting ballistics. Max has got tons of light cav for map control right now, and he's just going to raid. Be real annoying with that. And he is being annoying with that. Delaying some of the archer ranges, killing some villagers from FedEx. Here, though, we've got Trebs massing for Valis, and this is where I think the game might end. Just the fact that Valis is going to have Trebs and Halbs on that castle, both castles from yellow, they don't have an answer to that. Yeah, I agree, Arbase. I think that FedEx did a really good job. But I just think that Valis and Veleza were so freaking good this game. 27 fishing ships for Valis, by the way. He's fish trapping with them and having, living the Black Forest dream. He loves his Black Forest fish booms. The flank play and the pocket play on that right-hand side for Finland was just stellar this game. And then, Ruben Stocks got good eco. And then Max, he's done a good job to come back in the game after he kind of got delayed, right? This is the thing about Finland. They just, everyone can do their job so well. They can always recover. And I think they also have trained way more than China. I think they've trained more than Canada. I think they've trained more than any other team except for... I don't know. As far as the top teams are concerned, I think Finland have trained the most. Max plays team games all the time. He's always online queuing for team games if he's not playing team games with his team. And for example, yesterday, I saw Valis playing 1v1s, and then he was playing team games for 4 hours on Nations Cup maps with Finland. This is their tourney. They absolutely want this. We have Kata Peruto coming in. This is the old patch, too. So isn't that before it's cheaper? Still worth it. Max about to hit him. He needs to prep to deal with these archers. But the archers, we're supposed to be the answer to the pikemen here. But there's Onager with it for Valis. And Castle's going to go down. Why does Max not really do 1v1s anymore? I think the newer meta is a bit tough for him, but also I believe he is either in grad school or has graduated now and works a full-time job. So I think for him, the reality is team games, you don't need as much technical ability. It's a lot of strategy and being really solid and having good synergy. So I think, let's say he could only spend 15 to 20 hours a week playing a game, which might seem like a lot, but for a full-time gamer, it's really not. He maybe prefers to prioritize his time towards what, his best chances at having success, right? It also, I think he's always enjoyed team games more. That's what I always gathered. His brief rise to fame in the 1v1s was kind of out of nowhere, and everyone was like, whoa, Population's pretty close right now, guys, believe it or not, but I'm just seeing too many areas where losses are being taken. Some of it's on water, but a lot of it's on land. Gary needs to carry. Listen to that. Gary needs to carry. His strategies may vary. I could go on longer, but I won't because I think that's pretty good. Max will have Paladin soon. Look at this line of towers. The Japanese dream for Valis. And he does not get Siege Onager with the Japanese. And the Bombard Cannons, it could kill all these Onagers and all these Trebs as well. So Valis needs to be very careful, but they're still advancing in. Nikov's got archers there. Look at these Trebs. They're going for the cannons right now, I believe. Oh my god! They got 2 out of the 4 of them! That is one of the most frustrating things in Age of Empires 2, when you lose a bomber cannon to a Treb. It does not feel good. But Japanese Trebs are more dangerous, so you should always respect it. And Castle here from the Max. Again, I'll have Paladin any moment now. He's starting to pressure FedEx, who's about to get help. And then we have Viking Condos from Veleza. It's a team bonus, a team unit. The condos, and Vikings get more HP on their infantry, so what better civilization to go for condos than the Vikings if you're teamed with the Italians? I'd prefer you go Onager as well. I think that you're going to need some siege, but more than anything, it feels like Finland are happy to just be holding a lot of map control. They have lots of access to gold right now. Nice shove from FedEx here. I mean, Max's castle's going to go up, but he is holding there. It still just feels like with all these Trebs, Argentina is losing more and more grounds. There's castle drops and trebuchets everywhere. And then you can't address these towers, man. There's just too many towers. One mistake from Gary and he loses half his army. So yeah, Nikov is killing the condos because condos they're not a Huskarl, right? They don't have insane Pierce armor, but they're losing grounds. And there's still always Trebs next to those castles for Finland. Big shots! Decent shots there for Valis, as the Paladins from Max are going to find the cannons. And then Valis can move comfortably forward with what's left of the Onagers here. Gary doesn't have any bombard cannons now. And, oh man, I think he even canceled that one. Oh, and the Paladins are on the other side! Oh no, Gary! Oh! Thought it was going to be better. Tried to make that a little bit more hype, but, you know, GG's called. Finland goes up 2-0. It was a great game and a great recovery from Finland. Again, Valis, Veleza on the right-hand side were just insane. I don't think FedEx had a bad game. I don't think the score for him really shows how this game flowed. He could have done a slightly better job killing Max's fishing ships, but Max wasn't the reason. Rubenstock, they were not the reason that Finland won this game. The reason Finland won this game is because Valis and Veleza just completely owned the right side. Veleza outplayed Nikov. Part of that could be Vikings, but he did. And then Valis, he had a ridiculous boom, both on land and on sea, and then, you know, used tons of momentum in early Imperial Age to push across. I mean, the fact that he could afford to make 10 towers on this hill and, you know, do everything that he did in this game was because of how solid his economy was. So it's not 1-1. I'm sorry. Someone from Argentina paid me to do that. It scores 2-0 here. Finland 1 win away from moving into the winners bracket final. This is also the first time I think I've covered Finland in Nations Cup 2023, and they have not disappointed. 86 kills, 15 deaths for Rubenstock. Would make sense he'd have a pretty good KD, right? Because there was no real full engagements against him most of the game. But, I mean, all of Finland just taking good trades the whole way through the game. Obviously, the KD got really bad there near the end for Gary. So, Argentina has another home map stored up. They'll have to go for that one to try and get a win here, but they need 3 straight wins against Finland to win the series. We did see a reverse sweep the other day when Brazil reverse swept Germany, so it is possible. If you haven't watched that series, I obviously spoiled the result, but you should absolutely watch those games. That series was intense. All right, so game 3, and we thought it was going to be Arena, which was the home map for Argentina, and it is instead Arabia, and they chose Vietnamese here, and Lucky Rocks has already stolen a boar from Veleza. On this side, it doesn't look like Nikov's having much success against Rubenstock, but Veleza has lost a boar just like that, and he's Chinese. So I said it. Oh, God. Deeker could get Veleza's next boar. He's already down 1 boar. He could lose another. So Vietnamese guys, you know where the enemy TCs are, and I feel like that's going to be important in this series to use on to use on Nomad, right? They can't now. They're using it here on Arabia. But this is pretty ridiculous teamwork here from Argentina. Chinese are known for struggling if they don't have food at the start. And Veleza might not have a boar. Now, that has gone back. A great job from Veleza to track that. But holy, man, that could have been rough for him. So the pressure's on this side. Pocket players, we got Valis and we've got Max playing Slavs and Frank. So they're going to have scouts and knights galore this game. Flank over here, Rubenstock will probably be going archers. 1 second. Sorry, I need to just switch screens on my other monitor so I can make sure everything's good. Okay. So I said it was a low confidence pick for Argentina to go for Vietnamese here. I don't know, though, how they're going to play Nomad if it gets there. I said that because Team USA did the same thing. It was like we're down 2-0 in a best of 5, and we were like, let's just go Vietnamese and Mongols and just lame, right? And just try our best. And so maybe that's just how this series has felt for Argentina thus far. I think they would feel as though it's very difficult for them to win 3 straight against this Finnish squad. They probably, if they were being honest with themselves, also felt like maybe they were the heavy underdogs coming into this series as well. What's crazy, though, is the loser here faces Brazil. So an Argentina-Brazil best of 5. Woo-wee, man. That rivalry is pretty intense in sports. Can be in Age of Empires, too, so... Yeah, Veleza is basically probably telling his team, okay, I might need to wall a little bit more. I will probably have a delayed feudal age time. He didn't lose his pigs, though, and he pushed in some deer, so it's actually not horrible for him. But I would expect some pretty fast up times here from Lucky Rocks, and I would expect archers. It is normally archers on the flanks, and it is scouts from the pocket. Look how fast Argentina's going up, dude. These are some crazy up times. Deeker's going up 18 pop. You've got 18 pop from Gary. You've got 18 pop from Nikov. All of Argentina is like... I can make this joke because a viewer made the joke in my chat earlier. It's like, our economy sucks here. Why not in Age of Empires 2 as well? No, I'm kidding. Sorry. Maybe that was a little low blow. But that's what somebody said. I don't even know enough to confirm that, to be honest with you, Argentinians. But it's all low economy, fast up builds. And with these types of builds, you're going up less economy, right? So you have fewer villagers. And the goal is to kill quickly. And it's worth it if you kill quickly and snowball. If the other team defends, then suddenly it doesn't feel so worth it, okay? The scouts fighting in the middle. We've got 2 from Argentina, and we've got 2 from Finland. And again, Argentina will be up faster. So Finland backing away. Argentina also headed over, probably to find Rubenstock's base. Just to try and find any Vil kills you can with those starting scouts. As an Argentinian, it is both funny and sad. Okay, well... It's a good quality to be able to laugh at yourself in life, so I appreciate you guys for that. There's plenty of funny and sad about America as well, so. Dude, I will say, though, there's not many Argentinian players who are insane economic players. So there is a trend. Like, FedEx is the exception. FedEx, who's not playing in this game, who played on BF and on Migration... he's a player who loves his arena and loves his eco, but you got all these up-and-coming nerds from Argentina, man, and they're all very aggressive. Get faster up here, that helps out already, right? Look at the blocking and the hits there from Nikov. But Rubenstock's got his walls down. He's got wood, he's got gold, so he's in a position to maybe make archers. Nikov double range already, though. Woo-wee! He's going to have lots of numbers. And then over here, the pressure is still on. Well, it's not still on for Finland because this is Lucky Rocks' base. Sorry, I'm an idiot. But I did want to see what the uptime and position looked like for Veleza. It's double range now for Lucky Rocks. And it's double range for Veleza. Dude, what an impressive job from him, by the way. He's going to wall this up. Such a good job from him to recover in this game. Now, when you're talking about the pocket civilizations, I prefer the civilizations in the long run for Finland. But Magyars right now, they have cheaper scouts and they have the attack upgrade for free. So this is, again, a small window here where you want to use that bonus if you're Gary. I do feel like the Ethiopians, though, are much better on archers than the Saracens. And Nikov is insane with archers as well, as long as he doesn't run into the opponent's town center. And again, Nikov's on double archery range, and unless he gets housed here or something, I mean, this guy's producing like a madman. And the army count for Argentina is ahead, largely because of this side. I find it very difficult not to have faith in Veleza as an archer player, especially with the Chinese, so I would expect that the Chinese will have an edge on this side. So it is really important that Argentina gets an edge over here, but... Rubenstock has played really safe, right? He dropped the tower on the gold. And Nikov and Gary are probably a little bit frustrated now. They haven't been able to find any damage. Okay. You can see Max was thinking about it. Decided against that. Probably realizes now the pressure is going to come his way. Here we've got pressure. And we've got an engagement where it's mainly defensive for Argentina. And I actually think it's going to be fine for them. Valis taking that fight was a mistake. Look how weak his scouts are there. I don't think they got any value from the fight. Not that I can see. So, one bad fight, things could turn around on you. And Valis has to back away. Veleza's going to have to back away as well. And this might even lead to Veleza losing archers. He might need to consider a tower on that gold. But he still can run away for a bit. Archers from Nikov. There's 8 of them here. But you could see Max and Rubenstock are both coming together here to try and keep Max defended. Max scrambled down some walls. He's not fully walled. But he did get walls down in the crucial areas at least. Now, he's probably hoping to get scout upgrades, so he just now completes his blacksmith. And he is going to get armor here, all because they've just been under so much pressure here. Dang. Would FedEx, Kapocz, Manos, Nikov be the best possible Argentina team? From what I've heard from speaking to a lot of other players, it's considered that Kapocz isn't really a great team game player. And I also think team games are role-based. So I don't know. I haven't ever been hugely impressed with Kapocz's team game skills. Like, he's on Argentina B, and it seems like he's the captain there, right? So, I also wouldn't put Manos in my top of Argentinians in team games. He's a fun player, but I think Argentina's stacked with talent. Lots of upgrades coming in. You can see both pockets for Argentina now getting cav armor. This is fun, man. This has been a really fun game to watch. I love Arabia games that play out like this. And the total population is 180 apiece for both teams. But, you know, with Rubenstock, he's Saracens, so I should probably turn on market events. He's already selling and buying res, so he could maybe be up faster than Nikov. He's got fewer numbers, and he doesn't attack as fast as the Ethiopians. But he could maybe be up to Castle Age a little bit faster. What are the A and B teams? Oh, I don't know, dude. There's like 6 players in Argentina A, 6 players in Argentina B. I don't have it all memorized. But you could always look it up on Wikipedia. Bloodline's now coming in as well for Deeker. So he's going to have pretty close to fully upgraded scouts here soon. And I'm not seeing Bloodlines in for Valis. Oh, of course he doesn't get it. He's Frank, so he's stuck at 54 HP. Rubenstock has fallen back, but he's happy to because this army hasn't punished Max. It's pretty crazy how they went all the way over to Rubenstock's base, and now they're thinking we need to go somewhere else. And I think Max needs to track that. You see this scout? That is him tracking it. He's signaling, and he sees it now. So do they chase it, or do they go forward to Nikov? They would obliterate Nikov if they went to Nikov right now. But they would get... Someone would face the wrath of this army. And they don't want it to be Valis. They don't know who it's going to be, obviously. Scouts from Valis have separated from his teammate, and he's headed towards the pocket here where Deeker's walling. And Nikov going all in, selling stone, buying food. He wants to click up here, even though he doesn't have the good market rates. And again, Max's defense, like houses everywhere. You could tell Argentina are so scared they're going to take losses because Finland just knows they're there, right? Like, they're not even trying to break through. They don't know where to go. Great tracking from Deeker here, though. And then we've got 23 archers versus 25 archers if we're talking the flank on this side. But, however, Lucky Rocks has made it towards Valis' base. Veleza, when he hears this, he needs to find damage to make Orange pay for being so bold with this. Wow, that's crazy. And, of course, Castle Age times will happen. Still, this army hasn't done damage. But it could at any point in time. And Max has to track it. They're like, are they coming back to Rubenstock now? It's crazy how well Max has played with defense, though. He's got second layers everywhere. All right, Valis notices the archers are coming here. And let's see where the big blue blob is for Veleza. Veleza's got to come home now. So that is, for as good as Max did on the other side of tracking, this is a mistake and a slip-up from Finland not to be able to keep track of that. And this is going to make one of the players pay. And this makes me think Argentina have the lead right now. As long as, you know, they could continue to hide back here. Look, Rubenstock's on crossbow. And so Nikov says, all right, well, Gary, I'm just going to hide with my archers. And you hide with the scouts and let's split up here. Wow, man. Now, where this could be a negative is if Lucky Rocks loses all of his archers and gets trapped in here forever. Like, if he can't escape and loses them, then the blue archers will head over towards him later. Look at this sneakiness from Argentina, man. Sneaky, sneaky. Well, they've got Sneakov. It makes sense, dude. The best player at sneaking is Sneakov. I said that at NAC. I still think now he's a very sneaky archer player. I hate playing against him with archers. He's nerdy and is sneaky. The worst combination. Crossbow and Bodkin arrows in for him. Also, our yellow player is up to Castle Age faster than the max. So again, the timings have been better for Argentina. A couple crossbows have come through here, though, which could be devastating for Lucky Rocks, especially since Ballistics is going to be in 2. Oh boy, that could be bad. And Nikov was going to push forward here, was found by Rubenstock, who's going 3 ranges right now. But let's see how this goes. I think the light cav from Valis, oh god, they're angry, and they're in, and Lucky Rocks is paying the price. Did he do enough versus Valis is the question. Oh man, look at those villagers run. Oh man. And again, the crossbows just won't miss shots right now if you're Veleza. Oh, but however, Veleza ran into this army from Nikov and Deeker. So Veleza will lose some army mass. Very interesting game. Again, 240 population per team. The ecos are actually very close. The army's very close. 4v4 Arabia is just a different beast. And while on one hand you have Deeker's or Lucky Rocks' economy being destroyed, on this side, though, Valis is still 1 TC, and it's 3 TCs for Deeker. So Deeker has the potential to make a lot more knights than Valis does. Max probably in the best position, pocket-wise, plus your Slavs, so he'll have crazy farms, but there's been a whole lot of chasing having to happen here for Finland. They haven't had control, except through Veleza, who's running away, and you can tell Argentina's looking for him. So Gary and Nikov are wandering all the way over to the other pocket right now, and oh man, the damage they can find. Beautiful job. We do need to pay attention here, though, because Nikov has to defend himself. The Rubenstock's starting to bust through this house pretty quick. It's the closest game of the series. Finland has the population lead, which is still pretty crazy to me. But, you know, Argentina, with this force, they've done a decent job. It just feels like Finland are somehow able to just stabilize after significant losses. It's wild. I don't understand how they do it. Rubenstock's numbers higher than Nikov's on this side as well. Guys, they are still searching for that one Veleza crossbow force, which it grouped up and made it back home, by the way. They're still in the south searching for that. And Finland's going to clear this. How? How? Like, I mean, they still have to do quite a bit of damage. But I don't think that Deeker having a Vil lead over Valis is that big a deal if Veleza's having the easiest game. And Veleza's on 3 town centers. He's got 60 villagers, which is the most for Finland. And, I mean, yeah, he's in an amazing spot with an amazing civilization. What more can I say? Rubenstock backed away from Nikov. So now Nikov's thinking we have to push out. And I'm sure that it's also being communicated that Lucky Rocks is dying. So also Saracen team bonus for you. Look how fast this archer range goes down. What a horrible position to be in if you're Lucky Rocks. Yeah, but I get more HP on my crossbows. Yeah, you do, but that doesn't really do too much for you when your opponent's got double the amount of crossbows you have. Uh-oh. No knights here in support, though. Valis is on the way. Will Veleza see this? Is that enough knights against a player of Veleza's caliber? Oh, right in the middle. There's a perfect grouping. And Veleza's not even trying to stop here. He's just trying to save what he can. And that was a very good engagement for Argentina. They needed that engagement. Here, though, you've got Gary and you've got Nikov together. And it's going to be Max together with Rubenstock after Max goes for a little raid. Let's see how Gary deals with this. Okay, he will likely react. If he doesn't react, it's horrible. Okay, so he now reacts. But this means he won't send any more knights to the middle. And he might miss some micro there. He doesn't really have much HP on those knights. Max is likely going to outboom Gary now. Due to the Slav farming and the fact that it's Max. And Rubenstock just needs to hold here. Unfortunately for Rubenstock, this TC will not complete. Because Nikov's going to kill those villagers 96%. And no one's really flirting with Imp right now. I think the first Imp time will probably be Veleza. Which again makes me feel like Deeker needs to have like 5 stables right now. He needs, like, the 4th TC, in my opinion, is not what you need. You need more stables. You need to be spending more food and more res on somehow clearing up that side. Gary lost all of his knights here. Finland now have an eco and a military lead, though it is slight. And they're looking to pressure Nikov. And Rubenstock's got 56 crossbowmen. That range has been producing only 80% of the time, but so many archers. Little raid here from Deeker. I like that. Couple units left over from Max. Here finding Lucky Rocks. Lucky Rocks is not going to like that. We have Imp on the way for Deeker, and we have Imp on the way for Veleza. So Veleza is going to try and hold until Imp upgrades, most likely. Oh, God. Nikov, no ballistics? Oh, you're right. He doesn't have ballistics. He probably thinks he has ballistics. He's done so well without it. But not having ballistics is a really bad thing here. He's going to be missing shots, especially when the knights are moving back and forth like that. Kind of hard for Rubenstock to find a position for all his units to fire, though. And they're still going to be hesitant to push into the TC, I'm sure, but they've got so much control. And Nikov under pressure. Nikov will fall behind the Vil count of Rubenstock soon. And I'm concerned that Deeker is just not going to have time to get Cavalier and get upgrades before this gets so much worse for him. We'll see, though. I mean, Valis is really far behind him. Valis is 50 Vils behind the guy. Great job from Gary this game, by the way. Great job from him recovering. But as I say that, he's going to take a fight that he shouldn't. It's too many crossbowmen. Knights in from Valis on Deeker. And, oh, man, last place you want to be with your army is in your own base right now. The timing. Oh, and Valis hits the gold here. The farm's here. The gold's here. He's in 3 separate areas with just 15 knights. And that's an amazing find for Finland. Again, Impin in a moment for Deeker. But Impin in a moment for Valis. And Lucky Rocks needs some support, man. He needs some help. It's not his fault at this point, right? He's got 53 crossbows. But he needs knights in front. And they're going to be coming. They'll be here shortly. But it's just taking so much time. And there's no gates, right? So now the units are pathing away. And you're going the wrong way around. And I've been there, right? I know this problem. So it's understandable. Deeker has 34 knights. That is as many as Veleza and Max have combined. But they just do not have the control over the game anymore. And I'm so surprised that Deeker is just headed right towards Max. Like, Rocks must be saying, I'm dead anyways. Don't even try and save me. Look at this. This might work out because Veleza is expecting 40 Cavalier to show up. He will not move out. But the Cavalier are not going to show up because the Cavalier are headed towards the Max. And let's see Max's damage control another time in this game. Imp on the way for the Max. He won't have much army at home. That's a lot of Cav. This could really hurt him. But Valis is now hitting Deeker. Max actually has a Vil lead over Deeker now. And the second the Cavalier is seen, and however you say it in Finnish, someone tell me how you say it, the Knights are at my base. The second Veleza hears that, he's like, oh, okay, well then Orange is dead. Then I just go kill him, because I have nothing to stop me from doing that. And, you know, it's really tricky, because a lot of people are going to look at this and say, well, T90, why did Purple let Orange die? But the reality is if they didn't do damage to Max, Max would kill them in the next stage of the game. Right? Max would kill this side. So it was a risk that maybe was worth taking, but, you know, there is reasoning behind it. Now, you don't want to hear that. When you guys are playing team games, if your teammate were to say to you, it's better for the team to let you die, you would be very upset. But sometimes the reality is that is the case in team games. Now, in most of the viewers watching team games, again, take no offense to this, the game IQ and experience probably isn't at a level where those judgments could be made, and they probably should just save you. But there are situations sometimes where you just do that. So my teammates have literally said that. Well, you did say earlier that that Orange is in a position that you are often in these games. So maybe there's a reason why. I don't know. The base is going down for Orange. He's still got a big crossbow army. Trying to save it. Deeker's down to 97 villagers. Valis, yet again, great raid, great recovery from him. He's going to be an imp. Max, he didn't really take that much damage there. Maybe lost like 10 vills, but he was at 115 before that raid. He's at 130 now. And he's got a mix of knights and boyars with the castle from Valis. Should clear this. And now, Gary and Nikov with like their last attempt here to have a chance in this game. They're trying their best to kill off Rubenstock, but Rubenstock holds because Rubenstock's now an imp. What a great performance from Rubenstock in this game too, right? Like, Nikov was up so quick. All the pressure was on Rubenstock. The pressure then moved over to Max, and like Finland just, they do not die. They do not break. And then, yeah, Valis falls behind, but then Veleza made everyone pay, right? I mean, the dude's on Siege Ram. He's got 84 army. He's got Elite Chukunu research. He's going for castle number 4. Maybe it's 3. I don't know. But he could do it all on his own at this point, and that's what he's going to try. And giving more time to the rest of Finland here. I don't think you can do anything. When this castle's up, I don't think you can stop this, right? The Cav are going to get through the Arbs. I don't know how Deeker's doing that. He did that before as well. That's actually the best case scenario for them. But if they clear this, they lose their whole army. And there's still a castle. And Orange still has no base. And then look at this teal line on this side as we have more and more castles coming up from Finland. We've got Rubenstock going for Nikov's base and melting buildings. Gary getting Cavalier. Gary getting armor now. So, you know, he'll contribute with Imperial Age army in a bit. And wow, credit to them. They did clear this. They cleared all those Arbs. But Velez is already adding trade. I think he's going to be okay. And is set up for success for the long game, even if he doesn't do too much right now. Nikov will get his upgrades. He does have ballistics now, so he must have noticed at some point he didn't have that. Max is going Elite Boyar, which is really exciting. Instead of going for Cavalier, Boyars are much better against Cavalier. They are worse than Paladin against Archers. That's the way to think about it. And I guess there are the markets now. That's not the edge of the map, Max, but I'm sure you'll find it. And was there, like, ever any doubt in Velez's mind that he was going to lose this position? No. He just makes another castle right next to it. He doesn't care. That castle also has 33 kills, by the way. And looks like this is going to be the end of this series. But not the end of Argentina. They will move on to face Brazil in the losers bracket. If they were to lose that series, they're still top 8 in Nations Cup, which I think... I don't know what their ambitions would have been like, but... I think it's still a very solid position to be in. Very fair to where Argentina's at. But they obviously... I think Brazil-Argentina will be really close. Because Brazil... I mean, they barely got past Germany, right? And I know maybe Argentina clicks more as a team than Brazil does from game to game, series to series. I don't know. Wow, what a actually a good fight again. At least initially it looked like for Argentina. All things considered a good fight, but the Boyars. Boyars too strong and too much support all the time from all the Finnish players. A Paladin soon for Valis, who might not have had the insane game that he had in Migration, but he did get hit early, and the GG's called. Finland wins 3-0 in what was a fairly quick series. I think we saw promise from Argentina, though. Honestly, I think they showed they're a really good team. I was particularly impressed with the pocket play from Gary because I know Gary to be more of a nomad guy. I thought his pocket play was actually really good this game. I think he and Nikov needed to just commit to something. Like they did hold the map control for a long time, but it felt like they had the numbers over Rubenstock. They had a better archer civ than Rubenstock. And they also had Magyars over Slavs. I would have liked to have seen them commit towards houses or just like buildings of some kind to try and break in against Max. I think they gave him a lot of respect there. I think they just assumed, like, it's Max. I'm not going to waste my time and stay here. And maybe it would have been seen as a waste of time, but I think you got to, like, really ask a big question to Max there and force him to maybe make a mistake. You know, particularly as well because it's Chinese versus Vietnamese on this side, and it's Veleza. You got to expect Veleza's going to win that flank. So maybe they didn't expect that, right? So Finland apparently have only lost one map in the entire Nations Cup, based on what someone's saying right now. So I do recall seeing that they lost a game. I think they won a series 3-1. I don't remember which one they lost. Yeah, Finland's still the favorites. Finland will move on to face Canada in the winner's bracket final. Now, the winner of that series moves into the final. Let me just show you the brackets. Okay, so Finland will move on to here. Okay, winner of that series, like this is a huge series because they get one win at the start of the grand final when that happens. So basically, there's a loser's bracket, but the team that never falls to the loser's bracket gets a reward in that grand final. So getting one win against what is going to be a very good team is going to be very useful. If you consider both teams to be close when that final comes around, you give the edge to the team that starts with one win. And also, the other thing is, too, Argentina is going to fall here. But I think if you... It doesn't actually say... Where do you go if you lose here? Do you go to the loser's final? Well, that would make sense. I think you go to the loser's final to face the winner of whoever faces off here, right? So like Brazil, Argentina, let's say Brazil wins. China versus whoever wins between France, Austria. That's happening now. Let's say France wins because they're winning. Then they face that team. So yeah, you could just not even make the grand final at all if you lose this because you have to play another best of 7 there. Yeah, that's the breakdown. But Finland looking strong. Actually, if Finland's only lost one game, Canada's only lost one game as well. So both those teams have been insane. That will be a really good best of 7 final. Winners final, that is. By the way, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I kind of would like to see this be a best of 5. Now you're fighting for a lot. But like best of 5. That way, if there's a rematch of the same teams, I don't know. I guess I've always been a guy where I want the final to be more games than the quarters and the semis. But it's still, best of 7's more action for us, so and that's good, right?